welcome to video 2. I'm outside the front of my local RGA store and we're going to go in here and have a look at the key things that you need to look at when you're buying packet processed food. Firstly, we're going to look at the type of ingredients, we're going to look at the number of ingredients and how the ingredients are listed. So they're really the three things that we're going to look for and see what we can find. Let's go. So I bet you didn't expect to see me in the organic section, the organic aisle of the supermarket. But there are definitely things, a few surprises in here to be aware of. I've got an organic Go Natural nut bar, and let's have a look at the ingredients. The ingredients are nuts, almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, honey and glucose, which is down the list, so there's not as much of it. But the glucose is from maize, so that is the commonly known high fructose corn syrup. We really do not want that in our diet. High fructose corn syrup interferes with our appetite. It can wreak havoc on our immune systems and our bodies. So it's best to avoid that as a sweetener. There are plenty of other sweeteners. A lot of the muesli bars now use honey and stevia and other things that are much kinder on our body. Then if we look at the nutritional profile and look at the amount of sugar that is in the bar, there's about 8.1 grams of that sugar. 4.5 grams in a teaspoon, so that's almost 2 teaspoons of sugar that we've got in this 40-gram bar. So it's actually a lot of sugar, which we may not have thought would be in such a healthy bar. So then I'm going to look at popcorn, because popcorn is another, it's promoted as a good healthy snack, and it is when we make it from home, from scratch. It's a fantastic thing to be giving kids, especially if we add a bit of our own organic butter, cinnamon, coconut oil, things like that. The one thing that's in these ingredients that concerns me, most of it's pretty good. We've got popcorn, sunflower oil, butter, buttermilk powder, milk solids, and natural colour, beta carotene. So it's okay. The milk solids, not so good, but the one thing is the sunflower oil, the vegetable oil, which we find in most packaged foods, unfortunately. Sunflower oil, like other vegetable oils, canola oil, safflower oil, has a very low smoke point, which means that under heat it can become rancid quickly. The other ingredient in the nutritional profile is trans fats. So while the trans fats are very low, less than 0.1 grams, there are trans fats in this popcorn, and that comes from the vegetable oil. So what happens when vegetable oils are heated? They become rancid and can turn to trans fats, which act like fat in the body, a very important molecule, but can corrupt the cell membrane. So we really don't want to be buying foods, packaged foods with trans fats.
So Kate, what happens if it corrupts the cell membrane? What does that do to, what's that doing inside our body? What does that actually mean?
It means that our cells can't operate as efficiently and optimally as they can, which can lead to other health implications. So it can be, if you're eating a lot of it, can be quite devastating on our bodies.
Okay.
So it's one food or one product to be definitely avoiding. Yeah, keep out of our diet. But then, so homemade popcorn is, you know, a great thing to be having. If we look at chips now, most chips also have the vegetable oils in them. So the chips that I like to buy for our family tend to be the Chipman brand. And the reason why is because they have few ingredients, organic corn, it's GMO free, so you can see that it's all great in terms of what they're adding in there. The other thing is they also use palm oil, and they do use a sustainable palm oil. So it's you know, it's sustainable, so it's a better product. Palm oil is a saturated fat, so it's going to be more stable under heat, and our bodies can actually use it more efficiently than a trans fat. So
okay,
that's a better option.
So the reason there's so much in the media about palm oils not being good, why is that?
Because the harvesting of the palm oil is cutting down the trees which belong to the orangutans. So
Okay,
it's
so a sustainable palm oil come off the farm.
That's right.
Right.
It's farmed palm. That's right. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, so then if we move to the muesli bars, we're going to go and have a look at things to put into kids' lunch boxes. Just in summary, some of the things that we've been looking at are vegetable oils. So we really want to look for things that don't have those vegetable oils. Also high fructose corn syrup. We don't want to be buying products with that in there. And then also looking at the type of sweetener. We want to have a good natural sweetener. So if we're looking at muesli bars, which we can put into kids' lunch boxes, I'm going to compare the Uncle Toby's Oat Slice, which is very simple, straightforward muesli bar. And if we look at the number of ingredients, there's a lot of ingredients, and there's lots of numbers. We can't eat numbers, so really try and avoid products that have so many numbers and tend to be less ingredients, so they're more of a whole food. So in that instance, the Carmen's brand is actually better because there are only whole foods that we can recognise. There's less ingredients and there's no numbers. So the Carmen's brand unfortunately also do have the sunflower oil, and when it's baked, that's going to become rancid. So it's, I've got a great recipe on my website for a muesli bar. It's easy to make one at home. But if you get stuck, then the Carmen's brand is definitely a better option. Okay. Cereal in the morning is another big one, and it's a busy time, I know, with my own kids. The one thing I'll say about it is it's not something I would generally recommend to my clients, is a box of cereal. But if it is something that you have and your kids are used to, go for something with the less ingredients. The key is the less ingredients and the amount of sugar and the type of sugar that's been using that I've already spoken about. Ideally, even an oat, so like a plain oat, the only ingredient are oats, so even Uncle Toby's oats, that you can soak and cook, even soak overnight as a bircher muesli, then that's a nice alternative. But again, it's the one ingredient, and there's no added sugar, no added numbers, preservatives, and things like that. So they're the kind of things to keep in mind. So some of the things that we can be tricked by. Nutrigrain, it's a really popular cereal. Iron Man fuel, fueled by carbs and protein. The protein in there is not sustaining. It's not a whole food protein that our bodies and our muscles are going to use. The carbohydrate is a simple carbohydrate. It's going to give us a quick energy and not be sustaining. It's also made with corn, oats and wheat. Just with the corn, be mindful that corn products are non-GMO. We really want to avoid genetically modified foods. So just to keep that in mind when you're looking at cereals as well. It's really important. Okay, so now I'm looking at the Natural Chip Company. 100% Australian owned and made, deeply carved crinkle chip. Most of us would think, it's going to be okay, it's natural. But when you take a closer look and investigate the ingredients, okay, potatoes is the first ingredient, that's good. Second ingredient is vegetable oil. So those trans fats I spoke about are going to be in there for sure. Sugar is the third ingredient. Salt, glucose, and natural flavours. So cornstarch, vegetable powders, and the caramel. The colours is a caramel one. So that's an artificial flavouring, and we don't want those in our diet. Really, there's a few things in there that you really want to avoid. It's not natural, and
it's deceptive marketing.
It's deceptive marketing. Yeah, that's right. It's misleading, and you must read the ingredients and work out for yourself what's good. We've had a really quick tour of the supermarket. I hope that's been helpful. It provides just a brief snapshot of the key things that you really need to look for. I go into a lot more detail and cover more foundational principles in Our Happy Children, and it really is lifetime information that will last forever that I share. So join me in my next video where I go into the 2 key things that you really need to consider to elevate your kids' health today. See you there.